Hello and welcome to Love from the Other Side. If you are on this video, perhaps you too are in need of healing and hope. We bring you stories from around the world of people who have shared their near-death experiences. While you may not agree with everything they share, please remember it is their experience. We ask that all comments be kept respectful and kind. With that being said, let's get started with today's video. Today's story is about a woman who died while suffering breast cancer but returns knowing certain things about life. On May 3rd, 2012, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer at 20 weeks pregnant. I went through chemo pregnant until 4 weeks before I had my son. 2 weeks after he was born, I had a mastectomy. 5 weeks after that, I started 12 weekly chemos and then went for 37 radiation treatments. 4 weeks after ending treatments, I dropped dead in the middle of a residential street. My sister performed CPR, followed by a motor cop who was the first one on the scene. Then I had to be paddled over 4 times to come back. That day was May 1st, 2013, 3 days before the 1-year anniversary of my cancer diagnosis. I came back knowing certain things about this life and world. I can say without hesitation to my children that we are and will be connected forever. There is no question. I just know things. I know this life on earth is temporary, but our spirits are forever. My empathy got so strong that I can't be near certain humans with anxiety or negativity as their stuff washes over my soul. That part is really hard, especially with the anxiety floating around the past 2 years. Our next experience is from a young woman who dies understanding that God's love is much greater than we can know. One of the hardest things to do after an NDE is to put such an experience into words. I will try my best. So I will ask with all God's love to stay with me while I tell my experience. My NDE was about 8 years ago, but according to the realness of it, it was yesterday, in a different form of time. Arrhythmia, where my heart would pause during sleep. My cardiologist said it paused 4 times on the 24-hour heart monitor, so referred me to an arrhythmia specialist. I went to the specialist and was told I have bradycardia. He mentioned a pacemaker and blood pressure medication, but I didn't do it. He asked me if I was taking any medications for my heart to beat so slow during sleep, 36 beats per minute. So a short time went on and I got sick with fever, but not due to the arrhythmia. I'm hypersensitive to a lot of medicines and medications, so I'm careful what I take. When I'm sick, my arrhythmia acts up and my heart can slow more. I took aspirin for the first time and that slowed my heart in my sleep to a complete stop this time. How long? I cannot say, but the experience was more information learned in a matter of seconds than the time to learn here. So, with all the different experiences people have and how they have begin is so hard to put into words. I just remember going. I guess we can call it traveling here. It just happened so fast. I felt everything He is. God, I saw the light. I was in it. This light, it's not something you just see and look at. It's like your whole self becomes your vision, and a new depth of how feelings are absorbed is unimaginable. It's the cure for everything we suffer here. Everyone here does things for fixes or to feel good. And so many don't know how to stop addictions and get rid of painful things we endure. And God's love, oh so powerful, is a cure. In God's love, there is a whole new meaning to the word love. This is not the light of the sun. The sun is beautiful and warm and serves many purposes, but that is the sun. This light is different. It is God. And the love that it is, you now would understand the meaning of the word love. We here do not practice the full meaning of love all at once. We love, but with restrictions. God is the full definition of the word, and the word love to God is more than a word. When you experience God's love and that love is with you, you will see and look at people differently than you did before. One thing I'd like to say is that in God's world, and I'm meaning in God's love, no one is left uncared for. No one, any patient you see in the hospital or someone needing care at any time, that person is all our responsibility. It's our job to love one another without restriction. Nothing stops God's love in the world. There are no questionable thoughts whatsoever before helping someone in need or just to be loved. And I can say that God does know that we are not all fully experienced to the meaning of love. So we cannot judge everyone, which is so hard not to do. We are all human. We have brains and we tend to think in separations, but God is not a separation. He is everything at once, and He is in everything. When you're on the beach with your toes in the sand, He is in that smallest piece of sand. I can go on forever, but my experience was so wonderful and sometimes hard because I had very few people I can relate to. I express myself mostly through doing things that I love to do, without words or talking. I better express myself through music and thinking. Since my experience, I started building things, and my interest in nature and flowers and plants and animals is so strong. So during my experience, I wanted to stay where I was and go further, but I was completely shut out. Lights off, you can't come here. This place of God was right above me, and I can't explain that. I woke up, my heart was beating. I opened my eyes and the room looked different. The walls, doorways, etc. This place looked just like what it is. Everything is just. The door is a door, the wall is a wall. So when you're coming back from perfection and God's light and love, yeah, everything is just. I was feeling sick, but not nearly as bad. But I brought something back with me. It was the greatest gift in the world. The love I felt from God was still with me, and I tell you, I loved everybody. I was more patient. Jealousy? What's that? Anger? No way. God has none. All meaning of love was with me, and it was all that at once without separation, and you didn't even have to be a family member to be loved by me. I smiled all the time and looked at everybody, going this way and that way, driving all mopey, and all I can think to myself was, wow, we are all unaware that if we don't die, people are totally unaware of it. I could probably write forever, but my experience goes much further. When you have an experience, you come back with so much joy to say, and there's so much you want to give, but it's hard because not everybody understands love. And people want to be loved, but it's in their form of what love is. Animals will take your love completely without separation, but people's egos separate so much. People get sick or they're dying and their egos get weaker. That's when they're ready to take your full attention and love. So in God's way, without getting hurt or angry, just keep loving with all your heart. And that does it for today's NDE experiences. We hope that you'll join us again soon. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. Also hit that bell notification and it will let you know when we upload new videos. Thank you